I'm Carl Quinlan, Coronavulli, and I recently just got out of prison from doing 7 years, 9 months. I grew up with my mum and my dad until 6 months old. My dad passed away. I was back and forwards from Port Macquarie to Sydney. Well, it affected my childhood because, moving back and forwards here, there and everywhere, seeing my mum be bashed all the time, seeing, like, me and my little brother being hit around, it's no one wants that for anyone. I don't want that for my little brother. Me and my little brother were very close, and I think that's why. We're sort of the way we are today, because the way we grew up, and we used to get scared, a lot of the times. But after a while, it becomes natural to you. Well, for me, my daughter changed my life in like every way I could have imagined, because if I didn't have her, I wouldn't have thought about all the things that my grandmother and my nan said to me, and I wouldn't have thought about all the things that my the people that I looked up to always said to me, like being a good dad, like it's one thing to be a good dad, but like to be like to have a relationship with someone that you love the most in the world is like there's unexplainable, because like my daughter, there's no one in this world that I don't love any more than her, and I'd do anything for her. But yeah, like it's hard when you're away from them. You can't tell them, you can't watch them grow. You can't tell them the things that you want to say to them, But yeah, like my daughter, she changed my life in more ways than one, Like yeah, she done a lot of things for me. She made me the man I am today. I just want to work, try to be a good dad for my daughter, just be a good person, change my life. I'm done with all that bullshit now, I just want to move on with my life. When I wasn't with number 8, I didn't have a job. Back and forwards from my ex's to my mum's on parole, which is a very dangerous thing to do. And yeah, like I wasn't settled, like I didn't know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to do. But now, I got a job, I got my own place. I know what I want to do. I want to work. I want to look after my daughter. I have a goal, like I have a goal. I know what I want to do, like it might not be much, but it's a lot to me, And yeah, like that's where number 8 helped me, because they sort of changed the way I think out here, out on the streets. Because it's very hard to come from prison and to come straight to the streets and just live like normal. It's very, very, very hard, especially if you do a long time, especially if you do have over 2 years. I've been looking for psychologists. I've been to so many different places, and when I got in contact with Prison 8, they found me a psychologist, straight away. Pretty much, all I needed was I just needed something from the management plan from the doctor, and that was it. But I went around to all these other places that have been open for so long, and not one of them can help me with a psychologist. But they're meant to help you. You know what I mean? And if I don't find a psychologist, things I could have my parole pulled. So thanks to Prison 8, they sort of helped me get a psychologist, and saved me from going back to prison.
Number 8 Prison Project it's kind of like a wraparound service. And when I say wraparound, I mean it services the whole family. So not just the person who's coming home from prison, but also their family members, their loved ones that have had to do the journey with them, do the time with them. As someone who's experienced, this strange situation, I know that it's not just the person who goes inside and does the time in prison that does the time. The families do it with them. And so number 8 is a service where we believe and we specifically support Pasifika people. You know, there's an overrepresentation of Pacific Islanders, both in juvenile justice centres and in adult prisons in New South Wales and Victoria. But the fact that there is no support out there at the moment that targets Pacific Islanders is really surprising to me. And for that reason, we started number 8. To come alongside Pasifika individuals coming home from prison, both men and women, and to walk with them in the journey in the first 12 months of coming home. We offer a mentor support, a mentoring program, which is more intensive and inclusive of the cultural practices. But there's also the support coordination who will then map out a service and a plan with them to find employment, secure housing. I mean, most people come home from prison without any skills, you know, especially if they've done a long stint. It's difficult to find employment. And without the targeted support, you know, these people just fall through the gaps and, you know, go back to doing what they think they can do best. We want to support the families as well. Like I said, you know, it's often unnoticed that these families are doing time. They're suffering through the trauma. At number 8, believe that sharing our stories as a community is going to bring healing and understanding to the situation. You know, sharing our stories shines a light on the issue, but also says you're not doing this alone. You don't have to, you know, be ashamed of your loved one anymore. There's opportunities out there. There's ways that they can change their lives. It's just going to take a little bit of work. So number 8 is about, you know, building that pathway or providing that pathway to change, especially in the Pacific Island community. But number 8 is really about him coming home and making a different life for himself, and it's possible.